Welcome back, everybody, to the Honey Jam podcast.
Just kidding. There's an episode this week.
Yep, that's right. We mentioned that there wouldn't be an episode this week, but here we are in the stew. A very, once again, familiar voice.
Number one substitute.
Our number one substitute. And Jessica.
Jess is where?
She's in Arizona with her family, celebrating her father's 70th birthday. Happy birthday, Dr. Kwan. He does not look a day older than 60.
He has such a jolly laugh.
He does.
From Jess's videos.
And he must be so happy because all of his kids and all of his grandkids are there. So we miss you, Jess. Speaking of which, though, why are we having an episode today? And I thought, you might be thinking, I thought, David, you were supposed to be home in LA. What are you doing back in Korea?
Well, Janice over here was just so, from the episodes, and if you know Janice, she's a golden retriever, super happy. When I left, I was only gone for 8 days. When I left, she turned into a little, what's the Winnie the Pooh donkey? Eeyore?
Eeyore.
She turned into Eeyore, a mopey little sad puppy.
Is Eeyore a dog?
No, it's a donkey.
It's a donkey. Oh, donkey. Yeah.
Well, I didn't want to call you a donkey. Mopey little sad donkey. Even her grandparents noticed that when she would go out and come home, energy's low, feeling real sad.
Yeah. Well, so let's break it down, right? We went to our doctor's appointment the day before the doctor's appointment, David was supposed to fly out back home to LA. And we thought, okay, it's just going to take 2 weeks max for me to, do the embryo transfer. And then I'll be on my way back home and join David as well.
Yeah, I was supposed to go back to start talking to the manufacturer for my little side project and, continue making videos and backpacking and whatnot, doing my outdoorsy stuff. But then what happened was the hospital messed up, right?
Oh, I don't know if it's kind of hard to say because, with like my body changing and the meds that I'm taking, timing isn't always perfect.
Yeah. Well, I think they messed up, but maybe not. So basically what happened was Janice was taking this oral medication 3 times per day that was supposed to prevent ovulation and also thicken her lining, which would prime her, uterine lining? Lining, which would prime her body to be ready for a transfer. But when we went back for the second checkup, or when she went back with her mom the day after I left, they were like, oh, whoops, you already ovulated. That means you have to try again in 1 month. And they scheduled that like 10 days after our first appointment. So we were kind of confused, like, all right, well, what did they say? They said, this happens sometimes to some people.
Yeah.
Where the girl or the woman will just ovulate prematurely. And so, I was thinking, well, if that happens to some people, why would we not have a check-in at like 5 days? We'll pay for the extra ultrasound.
Yeah.
But now we're stuck here for an extra, like a month and a half? It was a month and a half from what they had originally told us.
Yeah. So I was going to stay in Korea, what I thought was 2 weeks, but extended to 2 months.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like when they told me that, I was kind of like, so I had to extend my flight and I felt like menbung, just mental explosion.
Mental boom?
Yeah. In the worst way possible.
Why is it meng?
mental의 붕괴. mental의 붕괴, menbong. Mental explosion. So I was like, well, Seoul is great for vacationing, but when you're here alone, when you're here not on vacation, it can be a very lonely city. Very, very lonely. And even though I have my grandparents, and actually my mom is here too, I think I felt sad.
Yeah. I mean, in the past couple of years, we've been here for like 9 months total, which is insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was really mopey. So all our FaceTimes, all the texts, she was super sad about it. And then obviously I was expecting her to come back in 2 weeks too. And The embryo transfer is supposed to be a quick 10-minute procedure. So her mom's here. We didn't really think it was that big of a deal. But then when they pushed it back and it was 2 months, then,
Yeah.
it's kind of like a long time to be doing something like this by yourself.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not doing anything, just the emotional support,
Yes.
less stress and sadness being here alone.
And so, yeah, here I was thinking, oh crap, I have to make the best of it for 2 months. I was like thinking of all the things I should do while I'm alone, like, maybe doing like a eating alone series on Instagram, or like trying to keep myself busy while I was alone
and eat all the foods that I don't like eating.
Yeah, so I already started eating byokguk, which is like seaweed soup, and David doesn't love it on a daily basis. I could eat it every day. And that was the first meal I had alone. And I'm gotta be honest, it wasn't great. The meal was good, but it just didn't hit as hard as it would if I enjoyed it with you, And just eating alone is not my thing, because for me, it's it's a shared experience when you're eating a delicious meal.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
did you ever catch yourself going, "This is so good," looking up and you're sitting by yourself?
No, I don't even react.
You're just
in my
sad
mind, I'm
the
just
whole
like,
time?
I'm just eating. I'm like, oh, it's good. So
sad.
I was supposed to go to the hospital, right?
It was your period started.
Oh,
so then
yes.
She was like, "Oh, I think it came a week early, right?" And so you're like, "Oh, well, I'm supposed to come in a couple days after my period, so let me schedule."
Yeah. And then my mom was like, oh, I'll come with you. I'm like, okay. And she usually does. And I didn't think anything of it. But then she was like, oh, I'll stop by Harmony Harajuji's place where I'm staying, and we can go together from there. And I was like, what? Why? Because she always usually meets me at the hospital. But I was like, okay, sure. And she's like, okay, I'm going to come. I'm going to come early because your appointment's at 8. So I was like, okay. And then she shows up at 6:30 in the morning, and I had been awake because of work. So I'm like, but I'm still tired. But she comes in the house, and her face is like totally swollen because it's so early in the morning, and she has like the biggest smile on her face, so smiley. And I'm like, why are you so happy right now? It's 6:30. What is going on? Something was definitely weird, and she was recording me on her phone, my reaction. And I was like, 뭐 하는 거야? I had no idea what was going on. And then the door closed behind her, so I didn't know what to expect. I was like, and then all of a sudden she's like, oh, let me go get something real quick. She opens the door, and when she opens the door, I see a carrier luggage, and then I look up, and it's David at the door. I was so shocked that I didn't even hug you immediately. I just cried.
She just went, oh, put her hand over her mouth, and then she just froze there for 30 seconds.
Yeah. That was the greatest surprise ever.
It was so much fun.
So they had planned it. I mean, he had planned it since the day after he left.
No, because I thought you were coming back.
No, after the hospital visit.
Well, basically I went, and then I was supposed to go backpacking, but I ended up for a friend. A friend asked me to cancel my backpacking trip and celebrate his birthday with him.
Shout out. You know who you are?
Shout out. So then there's kind of spotty reception there too. But after that trip,
yes,
so it was 2 days after, and then you had confirmed with the doctor what date would work for the second round, which was June 14th. So then after that, when I got home from that, that's when I decided. And I booked it because, I don't know. Flights from SF are so cheap. It was $660 round trip. So then I was like, all right, well, I can just use my Southwest points to get up there from LAX, and then I can fly directly.
Yeah.
So, I was like, oh, that's not bad. And, I miss Korea.
You missed it?
No, I'm just kidding.
You were happy to be back home.
Yeah, I was so happy to be home. But, I can't let you suffer by yourself.
I know. That was very touching. How was your experience flying Korean Air for the first time in 15 years?
Well, they use the huge Boeing 747s. So it's big. It's 3-4-3 seat layout.
Yeah.
So 3 on the sides, 4 in the middle.
Isn't it like that for Air Premia?
No, Premia is, what is it, 333?
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
Smaller plane.
Yeah, it's way smaller. I was surprised when I sat down first that there was so much more leg room, actually. And then even width-wise, there's a lot more from seat to seat.
Yeah, dude. Korean Air is the best.
And then there's a pillow. They give you a pillow. They give you slippers, and they give you toothbrush and toothpaste. I was like, damn, I forgot about this. So nostalgic. So everything was good. The food was so much better.
They had
the only thing is, I don't know, since it's an old plane or something, they don't have AC in there, so it's hot.
It's crazy.
So that was pretty miserable, actually. That made the experience way worse. Yeah, I mean, overall, it was a good experience.
Yeah, David came back and he was
Comfortable.
like, "It's so happy overall about the experience." But it was funny because it was like he was talking about like his first experience on like business class
I
or
know.
something. I thought he was on a backpacking trip, but he was actually on his flight to Korea.
Yeah.
So that was definitely the top. I think the number one surprise that I've ever experienced, even more than our
Engagement?
I think so,
Wow.
because
Engagement, you had no idea.
yeah,
too.
engagement too. I had no idea, and like he gave me hints during the engagement, like coming up, building up to the engagement, and building up to when he came to Korea. Like he literally texted me like on Instagram. What did you say again to me?
Should I come? I was like, 56 days is so long. Should I just come back?
And I was like, yes.
And I said, okay.
And I was like, okay, well, he's joking. And then all of a sudden he comes like right at my door.
Yeah, I put that last comment literally right outside the door before I walked in.
I was shocked.
But also, I don't know, it's so easy to surprise you. You get, I don't know. For example, the engagement, I bought this gigantic inflatable boat thing that had a cute little canopy. Super nice and huge. And I put it in my parents' pool. And then the pool has a wall along the backside because on the other side of it, there's like dirt and plants and stuff. And then on that wall, I decorated it and I hung pictures from our dating days. And then the last picture was me and her parents with the ring. And so I took her to the back and then she was like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. She still had no idea.
Well,
After seeing this romantic boat with a bouquet of flowers inside and then a bunch of hanging things and flowers and stuff, she had no idea.
Well, it's funny because my body reacted, like my mind like, I don't know. It was a weird experience where I'm like, why am I like tearing up right now? Like, why are my eyes
Yeah.
watery? I don't
You
know
did
what's
say
going
that.
on.
And
like-
then basically I was like, okay, I guess she doesn't know. Well, let's continue. So I like rode us over to the wall and then we started looking at each pictures and she was just like, oh my gosh, wow, such good memories. And that's when she said, wow, like, why am I getting emotional? And then we went all the way to the very last picture and she saw it and she was like, huh? Are my parents? Oh my God.
Yeah, so okay, my thing is like if you had planned to come to Korea for like ever since like, you know, for a whole week, you knew that you were coming.
Yeah.
I don't know what the heck I was probably just like sitting on my grandparents' couch just looking out the window, counting down the days.
You were actually.
If you had told me, I would be like, okay, he's coming soon, you know, I'll enjoy it. But then like I feel like during those days I was so miserable and sad.
I think during those 2-3 days, one day you hung out with the Chewies, so you were happy.
Yeah.
Then the next 2 days you kind of just stayed in and were resting and you were miserable.
And he kept like counting down. He's like 56 more days
Yeah.
left. I'm like, actually, like David, don't remind me because it actually makes me sad
Yeah, she was getting really like actually bothered.
and I'm gonna
sad.
cry. But
It's
looking
okay.
back on it, he was like smiling the entire time.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, it's not that bad. 56 days. But if I didn't do that, like because you were so sad before,
yeah.
my surprise was even better.
That's true. That's true.
I think maybe if you didn't have all these people to hang out with, then maybe I would have told you because
Yeah.
you would have been depressed.
actually sad. Yeah.
yeah,
Even
but
more sad.
then you were seeing people here and there.
That's true.
You're still eating some food
Yeah, I was able to enjoy my like independence for a little bit.
for 8 days.
Reclaim my independence for 8 days. And it's a long time if you think it's going to be 2 months, those 8 days, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So it was definitely a new experience, you know, being alone once again. Cause I hadn't been alone like that in a long time. Knowing that I would be alone like that for a while. And so, yeah, I felt very thankful, I think, during those days, like to, you know, have a lifetime partner. And like, it just made me reflect on a lot of things. And I'm getting emotional again.
Oh, there she goes.
But David made like a emotional, like a very heartfelt video after.
Dude. Well, the first plan was just to show your reaction because it's funny.
Yeah.
But then I didn't know how to make that into a video.
Yeah.
Like just the reaction.
Yeah.
Where do I put on the text or something? And so you told me to do a voiceover, just explaining and maybe weaving in my
Like,
Korean
here
air
I am
experience.
going to surprise my wife.
Yeah, I was like, what? How am I supposed to say that? So then I just did the subtitle stuff, captioning.
With a sappy song.
And then I was like, what song can I choose? This is a tearjerker.
Yeah.
Janice is crying. And, this is our journey of the past 4 years. What song can I put on there to make everybody cry? So then I chose the...
Legendary.
what is that song called? I don't even know. The When Life
title.
Gives You Tangerine song, though. Yeah, I chose that song. And then while I was editing, I just made myself cry, basically. I was like, damn.
It made a lot of people cry. I think it was just like the wording that you put, the honesty. I don't know. And like we have so many people like who know about our journey and like support us, so they know the background too. Maybe that's why like people cried. But it's funny because I watched it so many times because I really love that video. Every single time I watch it, I just cry.
Yeah, you were a mess that day.
Yeah. And then so the subtitles are like the captions are in English, and I was like, oh, I want to like, share it with my parents too because it's so like a beautiful video. So I went and then I was editing it and recaptioning it into Korean captions, subtitles. And while I was doing that, I started crying again.
Yeah.
Like bawling.
But you know what's funny? You don't even cry on the part where I visit you or whatever. You only cry on your dad part.
No, there's actually a couple like tearjerker points. It's like the one where we talk about how, even though we're going through this, like I'm always thinking about my dad.
That part.
That part. And then also the part where it says, I don't know when we'll ever be parents, but we have each other. That's true though. Because like, we don't know.
I landed at 5, and then since Janice is working PST, usually she sleeps by like 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
So then I thought it was too tight of a timeline to go and surprise her then. So I hit up my boy Jay, and then I slept at his place, and I left the next morning. I was planning to leave at maybe 6 to get to your place by 7:20, and then we'll all go to the hospital together.
Oh, the next day.
Yeah, but then I was like a little jet lagged, so I woke up at 5, and I was like, oh, well, I'm just going to go. And then she asked me to wait for her. But so then I got in. We went to the hospital, did all that. And then that night, I was like, okay, well, if I'm going to be here in Korea for 2 weeks or 2 months, I have to be productive and I have to make this video. So let me just edit this real quick. And I was so tired. And then eventually I was just like, I had a mental block because I was so tired. So I just went to sleep. And I woke up at like 4:30 or 5. And I was still tired, but that's when I made that video.
Yeah.
It was just like half asleep.
It's a vibe.
Put it together on my phone.
4:30 a.m. project.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was very nice. I will say, like, during this time, my appreciation definitely grew more. And then I think also David, I don't want to speak for you, but I felt like that when we saw each other, like the first 2 days, it's like 4th day now, like we're much more patient with, or David's much more patient with me. I annoy him less, but it's slowly creeping in again.
There was a moment were we on the subway or something? Yeah, it was like all good vibes, emotional reunification. And then, what did you say? I don't know. She just asked another ridiculous question. And I was like, oh, I just felt it.
I was like,
This
what? What'd you feel?
Annoyed pit in my stomach I haven't felt since 12 days ago.
So,
We're back to driving each other crazy.
yeah, but there's always love. underneath it all.
Of course.
And
Oh, dude, guys, I got so many brownie points this past week. I went back. I basically went back, cooked Janice's dad a bunch of meals and froze them. Well, actually, when I was there, you guys were on the phone, and then Janice's dad was like, "Hey, can you ask David to cook for me?"
yeah, to me, he was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, like ask David to make me something delicious, please." To me.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "David, can you make my dad some food?"
Yeah, but I don't know. From the traveling and stuff, I was feeling sick, but because everything, the timelines got shortened and I was leaving already, I was like, dang, I guess I got to cook something. So then I cooked him, a bunch of stews and froze them. So I got a lot of brownie points from him.
Yeah.
And then obviously from your friends and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So
It's very touching. So thank you I'm just thankful that you are taking care of my family and then you came back to take care of me.
what an arc. What a redemption arc. That was the most hated husband. No, it started for
No.
boyfriend. Most hated boyfriend and then husband from your parents.
Yeah.
And now, look at me.
Wouldn't you say that's better than the opposite?
Of course.
arc?
Of course.
Yeah.
It was a long 4 years though.
So yeah, distance can really make the heart fonder. That's been our week. I also cut my hair,
Oh yeah.
if you didn't notice, if you're watching on YouTube.
You have to show everyone the famous passport photo.
Okay, I will. What happened was I've been spending a lot of time with my mom here in Korea. And one day she was looking at my face and she's like, "Oh, you are kind of balding in the front." She said, "아빠 닮았나 봐. Like maybe you're like your dad. You're like your hairline's kind of going back." And she's like, "You need bangs. Go get bangs. I know a really good salon. I'll make an appointment for you." And so I was like, okay, you know what? Like I need some change in my life. I'm very spontaneous when it comes to these kind of things. I don't care because hair grows. I could get a bad haircut. It'll grow out. And so I did it. And then the guy was cut. And then like I got a lot of layers too. And then the hairstylist was like, "So we call this haircut, we call it something. It has a name." He's like, "Do you know what it is?" I was like, "Oh, what is it?" He says, "The ulp cut, the wolf cut." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is the exact same hairstyle I had when I was in middle school. The ulp cut. That's when it was like pretty popular back in the day." Yeah. And so I have it again.
It's one of my favorite pictures of all time.
The middle school one.
Yeah, middle school passport photo.
Yeah. He used to make fun of me all the time. He printed it out on a necklace. He made a necklace, like an army style
Yeah.
dog tag.
I made a shirt.
He made
I made
shirt.
boxers.
He made leggings.
Yeah,
You
or
made
leggings. Yeah.
So, and I hated that photo for a very long time, but it's a, what do you call it? We're back again at the same hairstyle. So it feels silly, but I kind of like it.
It's better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, you were ready
I like
to make
it,
fun of me.
and I like it better. Yeah, I was ready to go back to America. But yeah, it looks better like this.
But I think it's a haircut where people will love it or hate it. I can
Like
see
other
it.
people love it or hate it on
Uh-huh,
you.
uh-huh,
Oh,
uh-huh.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
호불호.
Jay hated it.
I saw them, and then Dave's like, "Oh, it looks good. I like it."
Yeah.
And I look at Jay. He can't look at me in the eye. He's like, he looked away. I was like, "Jay, what do you think?"
This is the difference between a single man and someone who's been married for 5 years.
That's true.
And trained.
That's true. But you do like it. You weren't lying.
Yeah, I wasn't lying, but also I was just like,
The truth
yeah.
comes out.
I mean, it looks better than I thought.
It's a very different haircut for sure.
Yeah.
It makes me look like a different person.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cute.
Like yesterday, we're in the subway, and there's another girl with the wolf cut. It's the return. It's coming back.
We'll see.
Yeah, you know how fashion and trends come back? It's coming back.
All right, we'll see.
Yeah. And it's funny because back in the day, me, Ellen, my friend Aura, all three of us had the ulp cut. I think Sarah had. Oh, Jane had it too. We all had it.
Nice. Well, thank God you got scared because she was about to do the super short things,
Yeah.
but
I might do it.
you
I
cut
might
it
still
down
get.
to the eyebrow.
Yeah, I might still, like, before we leave, before we go back to America, I might get it, like, even shorter bangs. kind of like like those stupid looking wings. I kind of like that.
Why?
It's just kind of trendy. So anyways, yeah, that's this is a transformation. Please let me know if you like it. If you don't like it, don't say anything. It hurts my feelings. Any other updates, David?
I might find a job.
What?
Well, my backpacking food brand was supposed to launch this season. So that was one of the reasons why I went back early, is to get the manufacturing set up so we could do a first run by, June.
Yeah.
But because I only found one manufacturer who's willing to work with me, basically, and he is super old school, is phone or in person only.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was going to go to Utah and stuff, but since I'm here 2 months, if I get back in June and then launch by August, it's kind of like too late. So I
Like
missed
for
the
the
season.
like backpacking season.
Yeah, for backpacking season. So I don't know. Maybe I'll still do it later, but yeah, I don't know. It might be time for a job. I'm sick of being poor.
Well, we're doing okay. And I mean, this is your passion, it's like people want to see the product being made.
Yeah, they do.
So maybe it's on pause, maybe it's on delay, but you just do what you want to do. Because, right now we don't have any kids. And if we want to do something, the time is now.
The time is always now.
Yeah. And actually, you said something really like encouraging to me the other day. Do you remember what you said?
No.
So I was telling Dave, like, oh my gosh, this freaking sucks. Timeline's all messed up. And like, we might just be wasting time here in Korea if the transfer doesn't end up even happening.
Yeah, because if the lining or something messes up again, which we're getting checked up tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow's a big day.
Yeah, if the lining's messed up or you ovulate early again, then like we literally can't even extend you because you're 3 months.
Well, if we go to Japan, we could.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So like, it's like, okay, do we spend another month out here? So it's like the hardest part about this whole thing is, again, like waiting and like not knowing the timeline and extending our flight every single freaking time. So I got frustrated and I was like telling David, like, this is so annoying. I don't want to even be here right now. I want to be in Korea. I want to be back home and like come back to Korea when I'm on vacation or like, for a better, reason. But David was saying like, though, like this is also such a unique experience where we get to I get to spend more time with my grandparents. Like I haven't spent this much time with my grandparents in like since I lived here, and also being able to be in Korea for this long together. Obviously you're still figuring out your career path and like with PopPack and stuff, and I'm like working ungodly hours, but still it's such a cool thing to say, like, we were able to live in Korea like this, like locals. And it's funny because like we know our area so well now and like how to get to Jay's place so well. Sometimes it feels like we're locals.
We are.
Actually, in fact, even there's a restaurant in Eungamdong near Jay's place that we go to so many times. They actually know us and they gave us service the last time we went.
Yeah, it's true.
I was shocked. She was like, oh, and then she knew our orders too. She's like, oh, this one's yours, right?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
And then we've gone without Jay before. And she was like, huh? Just 2 of you today?
Yeah, yeah. And so I was like, David, are we like locals? So that was exciting.
I mean, it's true. I feel like, first of all, your grandparents are still here, which most people don't have their grandparents.
Yeah.
All of them, at least. And then you have 3 left.
Yeah.
And you're spending so much time with them. That whole thing, it went viral on social media a while ago where like you have a limited number of times left to see your parents and grandparents. Grandparents, it would have been maybe like once every 1 or 2 years for you going to Korea. And so if you say maybe they're 80 and healthy, somehow if they make it to 100, you only have 10 more times to see them.
Wow, that's true. 10 is so little.
Yeah. And people were doing that for, friends and parents and stuff.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Feeling all sad about it. But yeah, now you get to live with them.
Yeah.
And you'll see them 10 times in 10 days.
And yesterday, actually, my cousin came from America. So we all, like us, my cousin, his wife, my mom, my uncle, we all visited my mom's mom, my grandmani, at her senior care home. And that was really nice too. Like that won't happen,
Yeah.
you know? And we all had a meal together.
Yeah. And it was another good day for your grandma.
Yeah.
She remembered me.
She did.
Yeah. She remembered his wife.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, she was pretty alert.
Yeah.
So,
And we don't know how long she has.
yeah.
So
Even that, you got to see her like 5 times.
Yeah.
That's something that you wouldn't have been able to do.
And she prayed for me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
That
my
prayer
gosh,
was
you
crazy.
guys. So like that time it was just me and my mom. And usually when it's me and my mom, we kind of stayed there for a long time. Like we'll stay there for like maybe like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Last time we were just chilling with her. And then my mom was like, and somehow my grandma, she has dementia now, and she has her long-term memory is still like intact, but her short-term memory is like really bad. Like she'll forget what she ate like 10 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago even, but she'll remember who I am, and she'll remember that like I don't have a baby yet. She always asks me like, oh wait, Iggy, think that's so, like, do you have a baby yet? Or like, you know, and she'll say like she's praying for me, and then my mom was like, like mom, like pray for her right now, you know, like why don't you pray for her? And so my grandma was kind of like, it's hard for her to have like a long conversation because she forgets a lot, and she just kind of like, you know, looking out into the distance. But then as soon as my mom asked her to pray, she just kind of like snapped into this mode. It gave me goosebumps when she started praying.
Yeah.
And she was just like so eloquent and
Just in the zone.
Yeah, in the zone. And just her words were so powerful, and she talked so clearly. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I got goosebumps. I'm still getting goosebumps right now.
Was that a good day for her besides that?
I mean, it was just like a normal
normal?
day. Yeah,
Yeah.
normal day.
Yeah, we were saying, you know, based on how she was praying, it's clear that she was a prayer warrior.
Yeah, she was.
Prayed all the time.
Yeah.
That generation.
So even I'm like, I'm so thankful that I was able to even capture that moment where she prayed for me. So, yeah, you know, there's.
If you haven't seen it, it's on It's Janice. Janice's personal page, which is popping off a little bit. 15K, come on.
Let's go. Now let's get Honey Jam to get 15K. Okay. But so, you know, there's pros and cons to everything. So I think it's really nice that you reminded me to look at the pros of this trip.
I mean, yeah, this has been our poorest year. I just did our taxes.
You did.
And it was our poorest year by far for a while. And but it was a good year.
Yeah. What do they say? It's like there, you know, that trend's like, I'm rich because I get to spend time with my family.
Oh yeah. Like that's like a comment whenever someone has like a wholesome video where they have good relationship and family and whatever. It's always like, oh, you're already so rich.
Yeah, exactly. And that's honestly how I've been feeling these days.
Yeah. I mean, I do feel like the IVF journey has kind of given me a shift in perspective.
Ooh, how?
With money.
How?
I don't know if it's because we're just like burning so much money through IVF and it's just like a way for me to cope. I have to figure out, I have to convince myself that it's fine or whatever. But, you know, if we can't have a baby, then I do kind of feel like, what's the point of working so hard?
Wow. You have always been like someone who works hard though.
Well,
maybe or not.
maybe not working hard,
Yeah.
but like, what's the point of being in the corporate rat race and trying to like optimize my dollars to that extent?
For retirement, you could
penny pinching and retiring. Yeah. I mean, I still do wish we could retire early. But, you know, I think after marrying you, it became a lot more balanced where I didn't want to penny pinch as much. I want to enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
And then now with IVF, we're lighting money on fire.
Yeah.
And we don't even know if we're going to have kids, and kids are expensive. So if we don't have kids, you know, our journey can
continue.
We can take our time and just I mean, you know, always trying to optimize for happiness.
Yes. Okay. And then what if we do have a baby?
If we do have a baby, I feel like I'm going to freak out and have to get a job and try to get paternity leave and stuff like that. But, you know, for now, just it's been a good year.
Yeah. You know, for someone who hasn't had like a flow of income that you're used to and that you like, you seem very like relaxed these days, actually.
Yeah.
But also, you're not really the type to show your stress
Right. Yeah.
and anxiety.
Yeah. I think because I got like some brand deals that are coming in, it's held us over a bit. So like I haven't had to steal your money.
Yeah.
Yet. I mean, your money's my money.
For sure.
But I haven't had to like ask you to send it to me or
Yeah.
pull it from our joint account.
Yeah. And I think that's why like my parents, they don't bother us about like, hey, is like David, can I find a job? Or hey, how much money is David making right now? You know, like they never ask that.
Oh, they used to ask how much I'm making all the time.
But like that was before they got to know you. And I think now that they know you, they like really trust that like whatever you're doing, even if we're not making the amount of money that we wish we were, like they know like, okay, he knows what he's doing. I mean, he might not know now, but he will. They trust that.
Yeah. They've been very, very good about not bothering me with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it might be time. It might be time.
Okay. Well, whatever you say.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like some of the stuff I definitely could do with a job still. And then when I was thinking about it, and I was like, all right, well, I could just work a little more, or work a 9 to 5, and then still film some stuff, take time off, and then use the social media money for our vacations or
and
to
travel.
save for a house. Or a second car, I felt like that would be nice too.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I don't know. Yeah, I still haven't decided. I'm just kind of going with the flow and seeing what happens. I don't know what I'm going to post over the next 2 months too. I don't have my freeze dryer or dehydrator or anything out here.
Which is why I didn't want you to come
Yeah.
or like stay longer.
Well, that was a big reason why I left. But, it is what it is.
Yeah,
I'm
you're here to
probably going to
support
spend
me.
some time applying to jobs, figuring stuff out,
Climbing some mountains.
climbing some mountains. And then I am doing the JMT in August. So
And what is the JMT for people who don't know?
the JMT is the John Muir Trail. It starts, the official start, I think, is Mount Whitney, which is we're going south to north. So it's Nobo, northbound. Starts in Whitney and it ends in Yosemite. It's
And how long does it take?
it's like, I forget the exact mileage. I think it's like 220 miles or something.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And you bet your bottom dollar that I will not be joining.
It's 211 miles. And we are going to do it. We're shooting for 17 days.
That's crazy. And he's saying we as in him and his cousin.
Yeah, me and my cousin, which is 12.5 miles per day. But actually, it's more because we wanted to have like 2 0 days where you do no miles and we're just fishing.
Oh.
So it's actually 211 in like 15 days. So 14 miles a day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 14 miles a day through the mountains. I'm so excited.
Have you ever heard that sentence before?
So originally that was my extended end date. Because, when I started the content journey, first it was like, okay, I got, 2 months to get 10K followers. And then somehow hit that. And then it was 50K.
Yeah.
And then we got there. And then the next one, I didn't really have a follower count number. It was more about launching the brand, the food products and stuff.
Yeah. Different milestones.
Yeah, which we probably won't do. But yeah, that new setup was supposed to be summer. And then because I'm doing JMT, that was going to be my next content deadline. Where if by the time I'm doing this, 17-day hike, I don't have the traction I don't even need to make a lot, but a little bit more than what I'm making, then I'll get a job.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
so-
just keep going.
I might get a job a little early, which is fine.
Yeah.
We'll see. So
Please
I'm
send your
thinking-
encouragements, you guys, to my husband.
if anybody is in partnerships / business development, I think I'm going to go that route
Okay.
for now.
Yeah.
Who knows? I'm all over the place, guys. I'm a quitter.
You're not a quitter. You just have a lot of ideas.
Okay, let me share my journey. Well, first of all, for you, what did you come into UCLA, your major?
I was a pre-business economics major.
Ooh, isn't that a pretty hard major to get in with?
Well, yes. But as a freshman in college, you're pre-something. You're
You're
not
biz econ though. I think I applied as
as a
biz
biz
econ,
econ.
so you're
Yeah.
better than me.
No, I mean you're not. I wasn't better than you. Everyone is starting at the same.
No, but you got
playing
in. I
field.
didn't get in.
No, I didn't get into the business econ major.
But you have to apply as a
As a
pre
pre,
something. So
yeah.
you got in with that.
That's a stretch, but yeah. Like you
Let's
can
go.
a pre-biz econ major is the same as a non-declared major because nobody knows what they're doing until they take the prereqs.
I think it still matters though.
I don't think so.
Then why would they even have you declare anything in your application?
So that you can apply for the right prerequisites to get into that major. But I don't think you need like a
So they limit it. Like if everyone was applying as pre-business, they're not going to accept more than
maybe.
a certain amount.
But isn't that so funny? Me, econ, and biz.
Okay, and then what?
And then I became and then I quit it because I was like, okay, the hell no, econ sucks. And then I frantically look for another major. Almost thought I couldn't become anything else. Tried to become a Korean major. Even they rejected me. And then I was able to figure
They
out.
rejected you?
Well, it's because I needed to do like another year of like prerequisites.
Oh, okay.
And at that point, I was like, okay, I don't have another year to do more prerequisites. So then I was like, ooh, psych. I fulfilled some prerequisites. So I became a psych major. And then I graduated on time.
And then you graduated with it.
I did.
And then you graduated, you got a marketing internship, and you've
Yep.
been in marketing ever since.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, for me, I got in. My original major was accounting because at the time, all the Korean parents and stuff were saying, yo, it's a stable job, do accounting. Then I did it. I took my first accounting class. I was like, this is whack. So lame.
But you're good at math and numbers.
Yeah,
and
I'm good at
finance.
math, but I don't want to hate my life.
No hate to the.
Of course, yeah. I mean, it's just for me.
Yeah.
I was like, this is lame. Credits and debits. Oh my gosh, kill me. So then I switched to international business because
Ooh.
I went to some event and I don't know, it just seemed cool.
Yeah.
International business. Then from there, I was like, you know what? I don't want to do that.
Wait, why though?
International business?
Yeah. Why all of a sudden it was like appealing to you, and then all of a sudden
Well,
you just
because
dropped
I
it?
switched and then I was taking some additional courses. I don't know, and I was just like at that time I was just like I'm not really interested in this anymore.
Okay. You just lost interest.
Yeah, I was like I want to be. I don't know. I'm at the time everyone was saying like, oh, you know, you love sports and working out and that's your passion. Why don't you go after that?
Yeah.
So then I looked. And then there was a fitness major, right? There was a major called fitness. And when you do fitness, you have to do a bunch of these one unit courses, which is just like a bunch of different fitness related or sports related classes. So because I did fitness, I had to do like surfing class,
Whoa.
basketball, soccer. There's like a specific fitness class where you have to just do the basics like run, lift certain weights, and you're graded based on that. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I get good grades based on how fit I am. This is excellent. So I was that. And then I was looking into the career prospects of fitness majors, and this is just like personal training, stuff like that. And I was like, oh, I don't want to be a personal trainer. They don't make money. I don't
Okay.
be a personal trainer. So then I switched into exercise science because that's like, it's the major where you get all your prereqs done for physical therapy.
Oh, and that was at the time a very, very hot
Yeah.
major or like a career
It
path.
was. OT and PT was very hot in college. Yeah, so I did that. And then I finished all my prereqs and stuff. I did my internship. And the first year, I applied and I didn't get in.
For school.
Yeah, for school. I applied and I didn't get in. And then I was talking to this church young, older guy at church who hated being a PT. He was like, hey, David, just come shadow me and I'll show you everything I hate about it. Because you think I was in your position. When I was a PT8, I loved it. So much hands-on work with the patient. You see them improve and it's so fulfilling.
Yeah.
But just come shadow me and let me show you everything I don't like so you can decide for yourself.
That's very wise.
Yeah, shout out me. He showed me like, oh, my life is basically just paperwork. I don't even get to do hands-on work with my patients. I do the eval and then I pass them off to the aide. So then I was like, oh yeah,
Again, people love being PTs, but you know.
yeah. But he just
Not for
showed
you.
me. Yeah, exactly. So then I quit. And then I got into sales because it's like, it doesn't really matter what degree you have. I was a hustler. I always, flipped stuff on Craigslist and whatnot. So I figured, all right, if hustlers do well in sales, let me go into sales.
Yeah. And you did well, actually.
Yeah, I did decent in sales. And then once I got to Coursera, every day I was pitching the importance of technical talent, technical skills, and how the world is moving in that direction. And then so when COVID hit, I was like, oh, maybe I should learn coding because that's what I talk about all the time. Then I switched to coding.
Okay. Went to boot camp during
Went
COVID.
to boot camp, got laid off twice. And then I was like, oh, let me make some videos.
And here you are.
And here I am.
And you're loving it.
Well, I don't know what I'm going to do still. So, yeah, I'm thinking maybe partnerships I'll try because it's kind of like sales, kind of not.
But I feel like this is the first time, like with content, you're doing something that you really like.
It's true.
It's hard work.
Yeah.
No one said it's going to be easy.
Yeah, but I also find myself making some BS content just to make the content.
And that's fine.
It's fine, but
Like people get burnt out
as an artist, I'm an artist.
as a creative.
It's just like I want to make stuff that I want to make.
But don't quit. You're not going to quit content.
No, I'm going to keep. The whole point is to make content, but not have to try to get views, basically.
Yeah.
Just kind of like share
Yeah.
whatever the hell I want.
So basically what I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly. And you have so much fun with it.
I do.
Yeah.
And that's why I respect content creators and influencers because it is a job. It's a grind.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those, but I'm just doing it for fun. And
Yeah.
if I get more views, that's awesome. That gets me
Exactly.
going. But I'm not going to commit myself to making like videos every day because that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So I understand. I understand that you can get burnt out.
So yeah, that's my journey. And the great thing about looking for a job is that you can quit again. I can quit
You can.
anytime I want.
But once a baby comes into the picture,
Yeah,
maybe there will be some pressure.
Pressure makes diamonds.
Ooh.
I do well under pressure, actually.
You do,
So,
you do. But also, it breaks my heart when I see that you're like, discouraged or sad or stressed. Like you don't show it, but I kind of know.
no. I mean, I get stressed sometimes because, like I said, this is our poorest year in a while. But, I don't get sad. It's just,
You don't get sad.
no.
Good. I'm glad.
That's why we're a good fit. You feel all the emotions, and I'm just stone-faced.
But you're not
I'm
a
the
T.
support.
You're an F.
Maybe.
You're not just logical. You're also very emotional. Thank you for the update, David.
Yeah.
We will all be encouraging you and rooting for you. Please don't quit because people do love your content.
I'm not going to quit,
Okay, good.
but I just might find a job.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Just
We'll
don't
see.
quit. Maybe content is the first thing that you do that you don't quit on.
Ooh. Is there anything in my life I haven't quit?
Me.
Backpacking?
You haven't quit on me.
Yeah. Backpacking I've done for 10 years. I mean, obviously basketball,
You haven't quit on cutting
But
your own
like-
hair.
but these are like fun things, I'm talking about
The hard stuff.
hard stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a quitter.
But I think, we all have that in us. We all want to quit.
Yeah, got to quit your way to the top,
Yeah. Huh?
Well, if you made it this far, please like, subscribe, 5-star rating. Last time, did you notice? Last time we had this call to action,
Uh-huh.
it helped.
Really?
Yeah, you guys are at like 100 something.
Oh my gosh.
5-star ratings.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Jess and I and David and Josh are also thankful for our loyal listeners every week. I don't know where this podcast will go because podcasts don't make money, apparently, said Dumbfounded.
Before starting a new podcast.
Before starting his new podcast. No hate on him. Hopefully we have him as a guest one day. But
That's still the goal?
Maybe. Maybe. He's a little scary. He's a
Shout
little
out.
intimidating.
What do you
but
mean? He seems so nice.
Oh, he's kind of like one of those like DGAF, K-Town. Anyways, I don't know where this is going, but we're having fun. We're still having fun. We're creating. Jess is going to have a baby. So, you guys are really looking into our lives, like my life with David with the IVF journey, Jess with her kids and her new baby with Josh. And so we're grateful for you guys.
What a
joining
beautiful evolution of the podcast.
I know.
Started with K-dramas and
Hey,
like
that-
the what was the tournament you guys did? The Korean the male
The
celebrity
Isangyang
tournament.
World Cup.
Yeah, that World Cup. It went from that to people being interested about your IVF journey and your friendship
Yeah, I think that's us
and your
maturing.
marriage.
But also, I would like to point out that that's coming back too. Korean drama. It's just because we haven't watched anything like that. We talked about Tangerines a little bit.
Yeah.
But the Pyeonusuk drama is coming soon. It's brewing.
Does it have a name?
It has like a temporary name.
Okay.
And then, Summer I Turned Pretty. We're definitely going to be talking about that because I'm very passionate about that.
Oh, God.
So, we have a lot incoming. And hopefully we get some more guests later in the future when we're back in America or even in Korea. Hey, if there are any guests that you want to see that are in Korea, let us know. Maybe we'll try to reach out to them, get them in the stew.
Ooh.
I don't know. I get really nervous though. But because David's here, I feel a little bit more confident. So, all right, you guys. Thank you so much for listening.
Sorry that Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader segment was passed on today, but
Maybe next time.
I was looking forward to that one. It's my favorite segment.
You can bring the question next week. Okay. All right. See you guys next time. Bye.